I thought I'd bring the camera into the kitchen so I could do the washing up whilst talking to you, but now I've worked out there isn't really a way in which I could put my tripod somewhere constructive so it could look at me and I could talk to the camera and do the washing up. So I'm having to do the two separately, and this is after I've been spending time planning it and it's all getting rather hectic. So forgive me the fact that like camera angles different and so on and so forth. But once again, I'm just going to prove to you now that I'm a little on the odd side. Yeah. You've probably guessed that already because you've been watching stuff on my channel and you think, you know, this is the guy who's into all kinds of weird stuff. Well, I just want to clear something up for those few people out there who believe that the New Age world is just there for doing people some good, because basically it isn't, okay? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in it, lots of little things which with intelligence and good research and good good application of your mind, you can get good out of, but you've got to know what to look for, and you've got to learn how to actually apply intelligence to doing stuff, which of course people involved in the New Age world don't want you to do, because mainly the primary purpose of the New Age world is just to make money. And okay, I can tell you this because I'm making money from it. Okay, honest, total fucking honesty, alright? I'm trying to do things differently, otherwise I wouldn't be making this video. I would just be giving you the, oh, it works kind of bullshit, wouldn't I? What I'd be doing is saying that, no, I can solve all your problems. No, 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 no. There is no total fucking cure for all your problems with the help of New Age stuff, full stop. Alright? There's ways in which this industry works, which can be used for good, but to the most part actually is not. Alright, because, and I've mentioned this before and I just want to fucking repeat it again, alright? You can be a member of a cult without having a different hairstyle, without having tattoos all over your fucking body, without anything, okay? Because cults are about changing your thinking. That's right, it's all a question of what's happening inside here. TV adverts, when they're on there, very, very powerful use of imagery, action, all the characters are larger than life. I mean, let's say they're advertising an ice cream, a selling ice cream, you sit there, you lick it, that's what it is. Alright, it's just like a piece of ice with sugar and cream and flavourings and maybe a couple of chopped chips thrown in, and that's it, okay? It's a form of food. You sit there, you eat it, okay? That's all. To advertise it, they'll have someone dancing, alright, and around the logo and all that kind of stuff, and it's just a piece of frozen dairy products, okay? Or maybe like something to clean your kitchen floor. There'll be a whole fairy tale scene made. It's something to clean the shit off your floor, okay? But it's using a technique to alter your mind through changing your perception and providing a semantic meaning associated with the product. Okay? Now, we're in a world at the moment which is full of New Age ideas. These New Age ideas have been given away freely. You know why they've been given away freely? To make sure there's more and more and more people in the world who think in a certain way so that someone can eventually get some money out of the ideas. This is what it's all about. Freely available information going out there and distorting people's minds and understanding of reality for the purposes of generating revenue for someone somewhere along the line, or indeed to prop up the whole industry. I mean, if all the books on, let's say, crystals suddenly vanished off the face of the planet, all the websites about crystals vanished off the face of the planet, all the references to crystals in science fiction was wiped off the face of the planet, right? No one talked about crystals in terms of healing power, actual or not, or contemplation, or for meditation, or for dowsing, or for anything else. Do you think there will be people actually using crystals in that particular kind of constructive or lack of constructive way? No, of course they wouldn't, because it's the idea is out there, therefore people will do something with it, okay? Now, skilled public speakers, which is what I'm doing now, I'm publicly speaking, I'm talking to you, this is going onto a little memory card, that little memory card is going to go into my computer, alright, the file is going to go down the, onto the servers in the cloud of Google and all the rest of that, and what's going to happen is it is going to be out there for people to see. I am speaking publicly right now while standing in my kitchen, okay, but I'm still speaking publicly, alright, providing free information which will help to change your mindsets, alright, just like all the other videos out there of people doing great presentations. Here we go, and here's a slide of me doing this, and here's a slide of that, and oh, look at that, it must be bringing proof positive that magic mushroom created Catholicism. Bet you. might have done the other hand, it might not have done, but as a result of it, there are people who are now thinking, yes, magic mushroom, crazy Catholicism. That's why Jesus died on the cross. It's an analogy for a mushroom, and it's all psychedelia, that he didn't rise from the dead, and it's all stuff. Okay? Right, now, some of it is quite entertaining and quite harmless. But some of it isn't, because it can have a direct impact upon the way a person thinks about something, which can be, or have a serious impact upon the body and other aspects of life. Okay? Such as diet cults. Now, I was recently recommended a book called the 80-10-10 Diet, I think it was. And this is one of those foundational raw vegan books. I'd heard about it from another point of view previously, and I'd looked into some of the previous claims, so I knew full well it was a load of hooey and pseudoscience, and that the primary purpose for people to go for something like the raw vegan diet is because it's an exclusion diet which cuts out things like gluten. So if you're a celiac and you suddenly go raw vegan, it's not because you're taking loads of nutrients into you, it's because you're not taking gluten into your body. That's essentially why it works. But it's sold with all this sort of like phytonutrients, enzymes, and weird sort of like supernatural, almost supernatural type sci-fi science thrown in as to why the raw vegan diet is supposed to operate. Now, in going through this book, there's a number of basic factual inaccuracies which you could quickly check with a Google search. What you need to do when you get hold of books like this is to go through it. When you find a truth claim, right, and this is of course something which was a skill which I got honed inside me as a result of watching even the atheist videos in my earlier days about how they did their fact checking. And this is like the same method you've got to use when looking at all this cult stuff, okay? Wait until you come across the first truth claim, then Google like crazy, okay? And look at so many different types of websites, so many different types of this, that, and the other, just to look at that one thing and see whether what that book that you've downloaded or bought was using that fact for is actually relevant and appropriate. Now, one of these particular statements in the 80-10-10 book was that humans have only been using fire for cooking for the past 10,000 years, therefore we haven't had enough time to evolve into the cooked food diet. That's why cooked food is poisonous to the body. I'm in a fucking kitchen. Very appropriate. I cook food here. Alright? I cook food in this room. I enjoy it. So I thought, let's just check this out. And hey presto, there's talk of, 120,000 years worth of humans using 125, 127,000 years. Possibility of fire being used for cooking going back a long further, it's like about 1.5 million years. And so this one particular claim, which was held onto, and obviously wasn't very well referenced, and is a foundational concept within the raw... Fucking hell. Forgive me a second. Okay, so as I was saying, like, that particular foundational concept behind the raw vegan movements was in fact a complete load of rubbish. But these lies, and they are out and out lies, are being told to try and get people's thinking moving in a certain direction. There were a few other falsehoods associated with raw vegan food and like why it's precisely quite so important. And also there was even a mention that modern dental care methods are the things which are causing all of our dental problems. So not only is it giving you a wrong interpretation of history, it's also giving you a wrong interpretation of medical science. Alright? Because it tries to attack all these different things. It's attempting to make its own argument stronger, okay, in the eyes of the reader. Bringing people into this like science fiction fantasy world, whereby you shouldn't be brushing your teeth, we haven't been cooking food for too long, we haven't been able to evolve into having a cooked food diet, and so on and so forth. And then of course there's other stuff about the way that like sugar is supposed to work in the body, and like for a candida diet, you don't want to have tons of fruits. I know this is a direct fact because essentially I have a history of candida myself, and essentially just piling on the fruit will not cure you of candida. And there's an awful lot of problems with having all of these like real simple sugars being put into your system. Fructose, for instance, is not really a long-term slow-release sugar, and so essentially there's all these falsehoods being expressed about sugar and how it actually affects the body. There was one particular YouTube user out there who was in the raw vegan community who says that she gets up to urinate 3 times each and every single night. Now this is actually not healthy, it's not appropriate. It shows there's something going wrong inside her body. On the outside, she looked like a dream, but on the inside, there's things going wrong. You know, there's like things not quite operating properly inside her body, which has been influenced by her diets. Alright, and her diet was, of course, a low-fat, raw vegan diet. And then there's other people out there who say, no, vegan diet's great, but you're still going to have meat once in a while. But then again, that's not really a vegan diet. That could well be a balanced diet. But if you're getting most of your calories from fruits, then essentially it wouldn't necessarily be a good quality diet that would actually help your body to change and grow. So my point here is that it was foundational ideas and concepts, okay, which are being used to distort people's understanding of the world. And these ideas are out there and people are believing them because there's like passionate public speakers who are saying this stuff and looking like really, really rather serious and as if they're like really informed when they're doing it. Alright? Please, 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 I beg of you, I implore you, alright, try and work out what type of cult thinking you yourself have absorbed inside your little mind and try and work at removing it. Because if you carry on believing that shit, right, and you come across someone like me at my time of my life now, and you say this, that, and the other, I'm just going to look at you like you're a fucking fraud. Alright, or it's a complete sucker because you're believing all this shit. And the same thing is true about like the pagan community and how the pagans think that paganism really has come about, and then there's foundational falsehoods about Christianity from the pagan movement as if it was to underline the truth of that and put on their truth instead, when essentially their truth in inverted commas is in fact a load of bollocks as well. It's all rubbish, okay? Move the fuck away from this shit. Move it. You know. Clean this house up here, okay? Clear away the clutter. All those things which you held on to, all those ideas you held on to when you were younger, even like 2 weeks younger, okay? Challenge them. Challenge them. Because there's every possibility that right now, you sitting there watching this, okay, you're a cult member and you don't know it. You're a cult member and you don't know it. Be brave enough to be able to say that you don't know something, alright? Be brave enough to say it. And challenge these ideas, because we've got to, because otherwise, you know, you're a slave. And you just going out there saying, well I heard this about that. Alright? What you're doing is you're taking that idea and putting it in someone else's mind, therefore getting their mind twisted, okay? Getting their mind twisted, so that they will then spread the untruth onto another person and another person. It will spread like kind of like a disease, using words throughout the world. Right? Can you imagine that? Whole diseases spreading just through words, not through necessarily even human contact. You're not meeting me face to face when you're seeing me do this video. Okay? You're not meeting face to face anyone who's out there doing a raw vegan video or doing a or whatever video about like the history of paganism, or anything about the true history of Christianity, or anything about like the true this, that and the other of whatever, you know, bullshit, okay? What's really funny about the 80-10-10 book, okay, from my point of view, is although it's written by someone who's got a doctorate qualification, he was a fucking chiropractor. Chiropractor. So his doctorate, his PhD thesis, had nothing at all to do with diet or nutrition. Nothing whatsoever. Okay? He may have made some money from his little scam, but it was not science, and nor was it healthy. I was of the understanding that there may even have been some serious health problems caused on some of his fasting retreats. So, how much do you actually know about how to work with a person going through one of these alleged detoxes? And do detoxes actually detox the body? There's questions here, there's not answers. Don't trust the people who say they got the answers.